Hey everybody, welcome back to the Horror Vault. Thought I'd share with you today some of the stuff that I'm currently reading, and both of them will eventually end up being reviewed on the website. But currently, or I have recently just finished it actually, I was reading this book about Jess Franco. Jess Franco, the world's most dangerous filmmaker. It was a really interesting book. It's written by Christopher Todd Upjohn, who did a few other books as well. He did Horror is Art, Film Freak Speaks, Part 2, The Revenge, Effed Up Fiction, Volume 1, and then he did a Notes from the Noir Journal of Volume 1. So this book doesn't cover every single last film by Jess Franco, because to be honest, even Jess Franco didn't even know how many films he actually made, because he has all the films that, of course, that he did make, and then, like a lot of times back then, it was you'd have the European cut or the international cut, and then the European cut. So, of course, stuff had to be cut out for this, and stuff get added into this version. So there's a lot of stuff getting put out there. So there's a hell of a lot of different versions about stuff, especially Countess Dracula? That doesn't sound right. What's it called? That's not right, is it? Countess Dracula? No, female vampire. What could be Countess Dracula, actually? There's so many titles for that film. Female vampire, anyway. But, oh, Bare-Breasted Countess. That was the title I was thinking of. So, yeah, there's that title for it, and there's a load of other titles for it as well. But this book was really interesting. It covers different films of his, some that I haven't even heard of before, some that I've seen, and some that personally I would never wanted to see, but after reading about it in here, it does sound really interesting. So there's ones that a lot of people would probably know is Diabolical Dr. Z, Lust for Frankenstein, Oasis of the Zombies from the 80s, Devil Hunter. Then of course there's a load of stuff that he worked with when he did a lot of films with Howard Vernon. Usually played Dr. Orloff, Professor Orloff, in a lot of the films. Usually that's the person he tends to have, and then he had Lena Remey, always used to appear in his later films. But really interesting book. Definitely worth picking up if you're either new to Jess Franco or you just wanted to read about somebody else's opinions into what Jess Franco films are about. And there is this bit at the back where there is a sort of a filmography, but even as the writer says, and as we all know who follow Jess Franco's work, you're never really going to know how many films he put out there. But there's the man himself, Jess Franco. So yeah, interesting book. It is available on Amazon, I believe. So check it out if you can. And the other one I'm currently reading is actually a graphic novel, and this is released by Self-Made Hero, and it's based on a H.P. Lovecraft story, The Case of Charles Dexter Ward, a graphic novel. So not that far into it at the moment. So that much. I've got quite a bit to read of it, but so far it's been really interesting. I'll try and find you a cool little nice little image, give you an idea of what's going on. So there you go, slight spoiler if you don't want to read the book, but yeah, it's been really interesting so far. And there's been other books that they've done. H.P. Lovecraft's been released by Self-Made Hero, made into graphic novels, and they are listed somewhere. There's a few other ones as well, but Lovecraft Anthology Volume 1 and Volume 2, At the Mountains of Madness. All three of those have been reviewed on the website. All really interesting. At the Mountains of Madness is the one that I'd be really interested to see as a film, if it ever got made. I think Guillermo del Toro was originally going to do something based on the story, but I think it all came down to budgets and all that type of stuff, that it was going to cost too much to make. But that's tends to what's happened. You have these really interesting stories that could be made, but never actually get made into films because it will cost too money. So we get the whole rehashing, reimagining, remake, whatever they want to put in front of it to make it sound cool and hip. It's whatever, but it does get a bit tedious after a while, especially when you hear about, oh, the latest film being remade is, what I read earlier, the latest film being possibly being remade is Arachnophobia. So yeah, I don't know what that's going to be like, but hey, I think it tends to makes you appear old as well when you find a film that's going to be remade that you sort of grew up on. So Arachnophobia would have been one that I grew up on, seeing a lot on telly. That's been remade. It's kind of very strange to me, but there we go. So yeah, that's the 2 books I'm currently reading. Definitely check out the Jess Franco book if you're interested in European filmmaking, especially Spanish filmmaking, and of course Jess Franco himself. I said it's 192 pages long. Really interesting though. Quite definitely a page turner in terms of, if you want to read about new films. So basically like that. So you've got a different chapter on each of the selected films that the writers picked. And of course, if you love H.P. Lovecraft, and to be honest, a lot of us that like horror or gothic writings and all that type of stuff, or fantasy writing, tend to like H.P. Lovecraft, Edgar Allan Poe, M.R. James, hell of a lot of other people as well, but this one's been really interesting so far. I started reading it and I put it down because it's one of them ones that I got into really, really quickly, and I didn't want to whip through it and then just sort of, I read that and forget about it. I wanted to sort of absorb what was going on, so I could actually read this in a day, to be honest. I could quite easily read this in a day, but I want to give it a couple of days reading. But yeah, definitely worth checking out. Really good read so far. But yeah, that's my 2 books I've read or currently reading at the moment. If you're reading any interesting books, let me know in the comments down below. I am always interested in reading new books, whether it's a short story or just an old book that's been out there for quite some time. I'd be interested in reading some new, or maybe you'll push me on to a new writer I haven't even heard of. Be interesting. But yeah, leave some comments down below. Of course, like this video if you liked it. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. Hit the notification bell to let you know when I put up new videos. And thanks for watching, and see you next video.